Nexus towers are falling. SK cannot hold back the tide.
A year that I want to forget in a way, or a year of like mess ups and screw ups.
I never skipped any season. I think it's really important for me, and Diamond Prox as well.
And Gambit will go to the promotion tournament.
Maus put up the fight of their lives, but in that last game, Dignitas edge ahead.
Well, at first I was like really disappointed. Then I saw the second chance, and now I'm like super hyped again.
It's frustrating to play relegations. For sure, we're like top 4 team in Europe.
It would be amazing to beat Gambit, and it would be a big achievement for us to actually knock out an LCS team.
Since I found Gamers 2, we've been working so hard to make this happen, you know?
It's gonna be much more exciting since they're my old teammates.
I think we all want to win in SK really, but I don't think we owe it to SK to like re-qualify.
This time Gamers 2 has actually good players. Like I can lead the team to win.
And I have this one dream of qualifying to LCS.
And welcome to the 2016 European Spring Promotion Tournament, where 2 challenger teams have risen above the rest and are here to try and claim a seat in the 2016 Spring Split. A lot on the line here in our Berlin studio. As you see Ossel out there giving a pep talk to his team by the pool. Sadly, no yacht in that pool, but I think it will work either way. And then on the other side, we have SK Gaming setting up on stage for one of the most important matches of their lives. I'm Eva Schok-Supporter, joined on the analyst desk by Mitch Kreppel-Voorspoels and Martin de Visio-Lunge, as 2 long-standing LCS teams take to the stage with their pro status on the line. Very happy to be here with my favorite analyst desk guest, and Kreppel.
Let's start with a look.
All right, we're gonna take by taking a look indeed at the 2015 Summer Challenger bracket and see how these teams got here. Of course, Team Dignitas EU victorious in the summer playoffs and will find themselves in the LCS. That means we have 2 teams out of that Challenger bracket.
Yeah, and it was a very close final against Mousesports. Went all 5 games. All the Dragons ended up dying, like 30 of them, I believe. Mousesports in the end obviously didn't win, so Gambit are gonna face them. And then of course we have Gamers 2, who managed to beat Denial 2-0. Very back and forth game, but in the end they managed to take the win. And very important for them, of course, as a team.
Yep, Gamers 2 there, and Mousesports will be facing Gambit Gaming and SK Gaming because they ended up well at the latest or the lowest end of the regular season bracket for the LCS. Of course, the Copenhagen Wolves were auto-relegated.
Yeah, very close there in the bottom parts of the standing. Gambit Gaming, the loss of Forgiven hurt them pretty hard. They were very close to Elements, almost hopped over to the 7th place spot. And then SK Gaming, they just didn't look great this split, the last split, and honestly went downhill for them. Hopefully they can pick it up back today.
Yep, we'll go a little bit deeper into that a bit later, but as the higher seed, Gambit chose to face Mousesports, so SK Gaming will take on Gamers 2 in our first match of the day, and immediately following that best of 5, it's Gambit's turn on stage, so get ready for a full day of games, possibly 10 games here today, and they'll all be played on 5.15, and as we look towards the 2016 season, we need to talk a bit about those changes coming up. Of course, the first heap of changes in 5.15 we'll be seeing here today. What for you guys will be the most important coming into this one?
Yeah, EO Promotion is played on 5.15. That is not the Juggernaut patch that is out on different servers and different tournaments right now. So there's only mild changes. And basically 3 champions we're looking at. We're looking at Sivir, Nidalee, and Echo. 2 champions were nerfed. Sivir's on the hunt is a lot weaker right now. If you join later, you just don't get the full effect of that spell. If you look at Nidalee, still viable, but a little harder to land those spears as there's increased cast time on that Javelin toss. But Echo, less base damage, but more AP ratios. He can be played in the jungle. It's not Rek'Sai, so we shouldn't say she. Or in the mid lane as AP Echo, and I think it's viable. It's a little tricky, but it might be one of those, you know, cheesy picks or off the meta kind of picks that can come out and surprise people here in best of 5.
Even seen EpicSkillshot take it to the top lane from time to time, maybe again. Otherwise, I mean, Fiora is enabled now. And she's very strong. And I expect to see her being played. We have some carry top laners. Again, we mentioned EpicSkillshot. We have Smitty J from Gamers 2 who could definitely play her. Not, of course, the strongest when it comes to engaging fights. She's not the big tank. She is a split pusher. She's super strong one-on-one, and I can definitely see teams, build a combo around her and make her work.
Yeah, I'm certainly hoping that we get to see Fiora under Rift today. But now on to the match at hand between SK Gaming and Gamers2 for a seat at the European LCS stage.
See?
In 2000.
How easy it is?
It's spreading.
16.
Quick.
First, let's focus in on SK Gaming, who will be on the blue side throughout today's series. Freddy122, Svenskeren, Fox, Candy Panda, Noxiac, and their coach, Danush. As we can see, a couple of changes in that lineup, but let's first talk about SK Gaming and their regular season. 6 and 12 is where they ended. In the end, still looking for a style that could define them in the 2015 season.
Yeah, especially earlier in the season, SK was a little lost. They lost Forgiven, replaced with Candy Panda, and they were looking for an identity, a style. How do we play? What defines SK Gaming? And they tried to find out due to multiple picks and playstyles. But in the end, they went back to like an SK Spring Light version where they had 3 pushing lanes.
Yeah.
Svenskeren started counter jungling, where he thrives, where he's a fantastic jungler. But it took too long for them to get there, and that ended in a very abysmal split. In addition to just late game shot calling problems.
Massive problem. They're way too inconsistent. Again, they tried to change up some of the picks. We saw Caitlyn come in for Candy Pen a few times, and they had a fine early game. I mean, on average, they went even in 10 and 20 minutes, which is good. But then they would get these leads sometimes and still manage to lose them. Like 5 games out of 12 losses, they were ahead 2,000 gold. That's a lot of gold at 20 minutes, and yet they didn't manage to close it out. And the worst thing is that 20,000 or 2,000 gold went up to like 10,000 gold sometimes. And then Baron call happened or wrong split push, and then suddenly the game was over.
No, shot calling definitely an issue for them. There is a new voice though in the team. Noxiac has stepped in for N-rated, and he is someone that we have seen both on the LCS stage and most recently on the Challenger stage as well.
Yeah, Noxiac had a bit of a playtime over in Nihilo. He went 1 in 5 there, so not a good result overall. But what speaks for Noxiac is that he plays more champions than N-rated. He's more likely to pick up a meta support. The likes of Thresh could come out of him, whereas we were just so unlikely to see that from N-rated. Obviously, N-rated mastered Lulu, but it really wasn't, enough for SK as a whole. So maybe that new champion diversity from the support role can enable other players, maybe jungle support synergy or even Candy Panda.
That's really the thing here, because the only champion N-rated had a positive win rate on was the Lulu. Everything else was like 1 and 2 or 0-3 or whatever, and it was very difficult for SK Gaming to break out this predictable pick and ban phase because it was so standard what they were playing. Freddy tanks in the top lane, the Lulu support for N-rated. So definitely needed some changes because again, you gotta make sure you can enable Svenskeren to be the carry for your team. So you gotta have some of these compositions where he can then gank for your lane and you can set it up very easily.
And Svenskeren in this matchup is up against someone who's jungled against a fair amount in the summer split in Kikis, of course, who was on the Unicorns of Love before, so he'll know him pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Svenskeren had a fantastic season if we look at just the individual performance at the end, at least. Start, very tricky. He was trying out so many different champions. Kikis, on the other hand, we kept praising him for being the more consistent member on Unicorns of Love. Don't feel like we've seen the same performance on Gamers2 though from him.
Yeah, if you look at Svenskeren's champion pool, it's actually pretty funny when they looked at the stats. He has the most unique champion losses in the LCS, so he managed to lose on 7 different champions. Usually we praise people for having this wide champion pool, a wide array of options available for him, but that was Svenskeren at the starter split. He was looking for solutions, but just couldn't make anything work. And then surprisingly, when he went meta back to Gragas Rek'Sai and dropped these off-meta junglers, everything went fine for him, especially in addition to that, once SK starts playing triple push, they will allow him to invade, just look for pushing mid lanes, pushing bot lanes. That's what SK wants to do, likely to win this series.
And I want to see him play Lee's. I mean, we didn't see SK really play on 5.14 and now 5.15 either because it has been such a long break since the last game they played. That's his kind of champion. Pick these strong laners for SK Gaming. Put him on an early game jungler. He will get the job done. He will shut down Kikis.
No, Kikis has definitely played Elise the last couple of weeks as well, so we'll see how that pans out. Let's look at the rest of the lineup for Gamers2. SK's challengers for today is Smitty J, Kikis, Perks, Jesse, Hybrid, and their coach Ocelot. Yeah, Ocelot is their coach here on stage as well. He's stepping in for the first time. He is, of course, the team owner. A cool extra dynamic. Jesse, ex-SK Gaming player, Ocelot, ex-SK Gaming player as well, so quite interesting.
Yeah, Ocelot obviously will not have any more information from SK Gaming since it's been so long that he was part of the lineup. However, Jesse has played with a lot of these players on the opposite side of the rift, so he can, exploit tendencies, weaknesses, even in champ pool or just preferences. Overall, maybe he can bring that information to the table to help Gamers to close the gap against SK, because there's still a bit of a difference, even though SK was lower end, of LCS. they're still higher rated in my books than Gamers2.
Sure, but we did see Gamers2 have a fine split in Challenger. You know, they went 6-2, they got the first place, beat out Dignitas in the end to secure that first place, then went into playoffs, and everything really seemed to fall apart for the team, which was very, very surprising. But it is a team that's consistently made roster changes. Now, even with the coaching staff, Ocelot stepping in, but also again, 9 different players has gone in and out of this team doing one split. I mean, that's too many. But it's also why it's so hard to judge them, because they keep making one change here, one change there. Kikis worked out in the start, but then didn't really perform in playoffs at all.
But at least they did get a third place then with Kikis, which brought them here. Let's take a look at one of the star players in that lineup who has been consistent in my eyes, is Perks, at least before the playoffs. He is someone that could be the carry for this team in this matchup.
He has been the carry for Gamers2. We know he's a very strong mid laner. It's always the European mid laner thing. We get so many small or new superstars coming in.
Is he Danish? No.
He's not Danish, but his AD carries. That counts for something. I don't think he was the big carry though in playoffs for Gamers2, and I think that was a little bit of a problem. I think Smitty J, on the other hand, they often look to him. He plays Riven up top, and he plays the carry top laners, and they might look for that style again against Freddy.
Yeah, we'll see. That is indeed a very important matchup, Freddy 122 versus Smitty J, because if we even just take a look at those champion pools, it is completely the opposite style for these two guys.
Yeah, Freddy obviously is what they call a tank player. He's just so consistent in his role, and his performance overall was a bit shaky in Summer Split, but if you look at Smitty J, he has to bring these more assassins, heavy damage dealers to the table. He also plays the likes of Rumble, so aggression coming out of Smitty J, defensive, slow but steady, lane control coming out of Freddy. However, I just really want to highlight, if Freddy goes back to the form that he had earlier in the days when he played at Worlds, for example, he was very predictable in his champion pool there too. Everybody knew what he played, but he just played it so well.
Yeah.
So if Freddy is in the zone, he can totally just outclass Smitty J, but can't get surprised, you know, if Smitty J picks up that Fiora or just has any other tricks up his sleeve. Can Freddy deal with it? Is Freddy a Fiora player?
I don't think he is. And we so often talk about flex picks as well, like Fizz, Lulu up in top lane and so on. I could see Smitty J play these kind of champions. Freddy, the only non-tank champ he played was Rumble one game. It was horrible. And then he's only been playing tanks ever since. So there should be a big difference in how Gamers2 should be able to draft. If Smitty J has picked up some of these new champions, the Gangplank as well could be in there for him.
A lot will become clear after Game 1, but with a potential league shakeup on the line today, we want to know what you think. Tweet at LL Esports and tell us which player are you most excited to see in the LCS and why. As always, be sure to use that hashtag LCS. We're going to talk over your answers here later today on the desk. For now, though, it is time to get some answers from the minds behind today's contenders. So we're going to send it on stage where Pulse is standing by.
Thank you very much, Sharks. I'm here with Danush and Ocelot before they head to the Rift. Now, first off, Danush, coming into this team, you're very new to the team in general, plus Noxiac has joined the roster. How has it been like integrating into the team in such a short amount of time?
Well, I've been with the team for like almost a season now because I've been the analyst like the whole split. So for me, it's not like that new. And Noxiac just fit in really naturally because, yeah, was just fine. He has been doing a lot with Candy, and they're both German, so it was actually pretty easy.
Oh, very easy to integrate. Well, Ocelot, you're back here once again within touching distance of the LCS. What's different about this roster compared to the last ones, and why is this one going to make it to the LCS this time?
I think we definitely had the best setup up until now, you know, even since when I was playing before. I think this setup has the most potential to be actually a very good contender. So I really hope the guys, actually fingers crossed, for the guys to qualify. However, you know, guys, like we are very resilient, so despite the result, we'll be here then again and again and again, you know, if needed. So
until you get it, try and try again.
Exactly,
like it.
exactly.
Yeah. So last one here, Danush. You've joined the team now, and you guys have had a lot of problem throughout the split in terms of finding your own style and also gaining leads and not being able to finish out the game. What have you worked with the team specifically that has maybe helped that as we head into this best of 5?
Well, first of all, I think the meta right now is way better than it was like during the season. And yeah, basically we had some big problems closing out games, so we just got onto like late game shot calling and tried to fix it there. So yeah, in decision making and try to win games from a strategic point of view.
From a strategic point of view, I like it. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Best of luck on the Rift. And before we head to the caster desk, we're going to hear what it means to go from 2014 Worlds to staring relegation in the face.
And SK Gaming will push through, take down the Nexus turrets, and move on to the World Championships in 2014.
When we first started out together as a team, everyone has like so low expectations. but then we overcome like everything and we like managed to go to Worlds.
I missed out on Season 2 and Season 3 championships, so yeah, it was really great because Season 4 was like the championship to go to, so I'm happy I could go there. That's why I rejoined SK, you know, to go back to the old times and to go to Worlds.
I think this year, like, in my mind, I'm always gonna see it as like a year that I want to forget in a way. A year of regret.
Frederick's gonna come in, try to get the steal off, throws the big barrel, he's able to get it! Freddy, Svenskeren, they're going low. Could we see SK wiped off the map? We might just.
It's really hard that last year we were going to Worlds and we were competing to be the best, and even last split. And then this split, everything just went bad. So yeah, it's a really hard feeling and it's really disappointing.
SK Gaming has had a lot of troubles finding success so far.
Yeah, it was really crushing. We play for the relegation spot and it's like really important for you as a player because you wanna like still prove that you're worthy of LCS.
We all took a break and we could like reflect on what happened this split. And at the end of the day, even though we had a lot of issues this split, everything we are now is because we joined SK like 2 years ago, and that's how we're even in this point and how we went to Worlds.
It would mean a lot to win against Gamers2 in the promotion. To kind of finish the whole bad thing with like on a good note.